You guessed it right. Today, it's all going to be about Canada. We're going to learn a lot of Canadian expressions, but of course, we'll be watching the very first episode of How I Met Your Mother. I'm sure that you're gonna love it. Stay tuned. To dress differently. We all know the word dress. This refers to a long one-piece garment. Garment means clothes that typically women or girls wear. That's dress. But today we're going to learn the word dress as a verb. To dress means to put on clothes.
I should go get dressed.
For example, she dressed in a beautiful gown for the wedding. Gown also means dress. It's a long dress for women. Or he dressed quickly and left for work. Or I could ask you, how do you dress to work? Dress here means put on clothes. Dress could also mean to help someone put on their clothes. For example, think about it. Can babies dress? Not really. They need our help. So I could say, I am going to dress the baby. Why don't you go and put on your own clothes? Or I might say to my wife, you need to dress the baby because it's very cold outside. Now, the third meaning of dress might be new to you. To dress means to prepare something for food. Think about it. You might have some salad. What is in a salad? You have some lettuce, tomatoes, maybe cucumber, but then you dress the salad with olive or vinegar. To dress the salad means you add something to your salad. Think about chips. In Canada, the most popular chips, the flavor, is all dressed. All dressed means it's got a lot of flavors, different spices like pepper, like salt. It is amazing. Trust me, if you try an all dressed chips, you're going to fall in love with it.
Drink, 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 yeah! Drink, drink, drink.
All right, here with me is a bottle of wine. Wine contains alcohol, right? What are the other words that we could use to describe drinks that contain alcohol? The first and the easiest word is drinks. For example, would you like any drinks? That typically means, would you like any alcoholic drinks? Now, what are the other words that we use for beverages that contain alcohol? The first word is liquor. Liquor. If I am craving for some beer because it's scorching hot out there, it's like 30 degrees, I might ask someone, excuse me, is there a liquor store anywhere here? Liquor store means a place that sells alcohol, like beer, wine, vodka, whiskey, gin, or any type of liquor. Liquor is a formal word. For example, if you're traveling on a plane, the officer might ask you, excuse me, do you have any liquor on you? It means, are you carrying any alcohol? But the funniest word is booze. Booze is the word that we use when we're talking to our friends. For example, if I go to the beach and I would like to have some beer, but I have no beer on me, I might say to my friend, hey dude, do you have any booze in your trunk? Trunk means the back of a car. Or my friend comes over, I might say, would you like some booze? or yet. Sometimes in Canada, we hold some parties in our backyards and we ask everyone to bring their own booze. Booze means alcohol. In Canada, drinks, in other words, liquor, in other words, booze, can be very expensive at a bar. For example, a can of beer at beer store costs you only $2 or $3, but the same beer would cost you $7 or $8 at a bar. But there are some bars where you can bring your own booze. There is a sign that says BYOB, bring your own booze. In these bars, you could take your own drink, but you need to order food there because this is how they make money. Remember, having a booze, having a beer a day might be fun, but always remember to enjoy responsibly.
You guys will not believe this. I've been talking to my lawyer all morning. You know that guy I had a slight disagreement with at the Hoser Hut?
As you can see behind me, Robin is going to Hoser Hut. What is the word hut? H-U-T, not H-O-T. The pronunciation is also different. H-O-T is hot. It's long. Hot. H-U-T is short. Hut. Like the very famous franchisee Pizza Hut. I love it. Honestly, my favorite pizza is Pizza Hut. Hut means a small house. So Pizza Hut could probably mean a very small house or building that sells pizza. What is Hoser Hut? Hoser is a very Canadian word. Hoser means friend. If you watch a lot of Hollywood movies, you tend to hear Americans saying, hey man, why don't you come in? In Canada, we use the word hoser to mean man, friend. Like, you might say to your friend, hey buddy, do you want to go out? Buddy here doesn't mean anything, it means friend. In Canada, we might say, hoser, do you want to go out? Or, hey you hoser, pass me a beer. Hey you hoser, pass me a beer. Means give me a beer. So hoser is used to say, hey buddy, hey friend, and it is 1,000,000% Canadian. Robin decided to duck in for a drink. We just learned what we mean by a drink. It could mean booze, remember? Now, to duck in for a drink. Duck. Duck is a bird. Duck is a bird. Duck is also a verb. If somebody wants to punch you at the face, you don't look at them. You try to duck. Duck. Duck means you try to hide somehow. Robin said, I want to duck in for a drink. When you duck into a place, it means you go to a place for a short period of time. Now imagine it's raining out there and it's raining very heavily. You see a cafe, like a restaurant. What do? You duck into the restaurant or you duck into the cafe. Why? Because you don't want to be out there in the rain. Duck into means you go to a place for a short period of time. What's the harm in that? What is the harm in that? When you say, what's the harm in doing something, it means there is no risk. There are no downsides. You don't lose anything. What do you have to lose? For example, I might say, you know what? Let's go to this restaurant downtown Toronto. I know it might be expensive. Maybe the food is not really good. But what do we have to lose? What do we have to lose? It means we have nothing to lose, right? It means let's try it. We don't have anything to lose. In other words, you could say, what's the harm in that? What's the harm in that? Means, let's try it. Let's risk it. Now, imagine that you would like to travel to Canada. Your friend tells you, oh, don't bother, because your visa request will be rejected. Your friend says, what's the harm in that? It means, I would like to risk it because I have nothing to lose. What's the harm in that? You desperately need some money and you don't know how to get the money. I say, just ask your father. He's your father, he's going to understand. You say, oh, you don't know my father. He's so mean. There is no way he's going to pay me all the money because he thinks I spend the money on booze. I say to you, what's the harm in that? Just ask your father. It means, what do you have to lose? Just talk to him.
When Barney finally tracked down your Aunt Robin?
Barney tracked down Aunt Robin. Track down somebody means you try really hard to find someone. You use all the clues that you have to find someone. Imagine a person robs a bank with $1 million. The police would try to do everything they can to find him. You could say, the police are trying to track him down. To track him down means to try hard to find the person. When you were a child, did you used to play hide and seek? Somebody would cover their eyes, count to 1, 2, 20, and then you would hide and seek. When you play hide and seek, the other person will try to track you down. So, to track down means to work really hard to find someone. You might have had a classmate from elementary school that you loved very much, and then you go to Facebook and you track him down. It means you try to find some information about them. We learned the word liquor and booze today. If you drink a little bit of wine or liquor, you get tipsy. 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 Tipsy means a little bit drunk, but not too much. You could still walk, you could still talk normally. If you drink too much alcohol, then you would be drunk. What are the other words that mean drunk? The first word is intoxicated. The word toxic means poisonous. Intoxicated means drunk. It is a formal word. If you drink and drive, the police will stop you. They don't say, we stopped you because you're drunk. They most probably say, we stopped you because you are intoxicated. It's a fancy word. It's a formal word. Intoxicated. Now, what are the other words that friends use when somebody's drunk? If my friend is very drunk, I say, oh my God, did you say David? He was wasted. Waste, like when you waste your money. He was wasted means he was drunk. He didn't know what he was talking about. Now, one more word. Drunk? What is the opposite of drunk? If I say, oh my God, you are drunk, you say, no, I am sober. Sober means not drunk. I am not under influence. Nothing. I didn't use anything. So, if you don't drink alcohol, you are sober. If you drink a little bit of alcohol, you're tipsy. If you drink too much alcohol, you are wasted, intoxicated, or drunk. Remember, wasted is the word that you use with your friends. You might say, "Oh my God, that guy is wasted. He had too much to drink." Intoxicated is formal. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding means let's be honest. Let's face it. How do we use it? Imagine that I'm only 5 feet tall. I'm very short. And then I want to be the best basketball player in the world. Can I be very short and the best basketball player in the world? Maybe not. So I might say, you know what? I can never be a good basketball player. Who am I kidding? I'm too short. Who am I kidding means let's be honest. Let's face it. Let me give you another example. If your soccer team is playing Brazil, the best soccer team in the world, and your team is not really good, you say to your friend, "Yeah, you know what? They're good, but let's face it, we are playing against Brazil." Or, "Who are we kidding? We're going to lose the game. It's Brazil we're playing against." So, let's face it, or who am I kidding means let's be honest. Let's accept something that is not necessarily good. Tim Hortons. I agree with Robin. It is the most Canadian place in the whole world. Tim Hortons is a coffee place. It's a place where we get some coffee, donut, muffins, and stuff like that. There is a Tim Hortons on the corner of any street here in Toronto. Now, let me teach you some words that you could use the next time that you go to Tim Hortons as well. When ordering coffee in Canada, we use the word double double. Double double? What do you mean by that? It's very common for people in Canada to go to Tim Hortons and say, "Hey, can I get a double double?" Or, "Can I get a small double double?" Can I get a small means small size of coffee. Double double means 2 cream and 2 sugar. Regular means 1 cream and 1 sugar. And some people go crazy with their Tim Hortons coffee and they say triple triple. I love double double. I think it tastes like heaven. Next time that you go to Tim Hortons, go to the cashier and say, "Hi, can I get a small double double?" There are 2 more words that I want to teach you that you could use at Tim Hortons, and they are 100% Canadian. One is the word loony. Loony, L-O-O-N-I-E, means $1. And then we love the word loony, so we invented the word toonie. Toonie means $2. You might go to Tim Hortons and pay some money to get your double double, and the cashier might say, "Oh, sorry, do you have a loony on you?" It means, "Do you have $1? Or you could say, "You know what? Here's a toonie." It means, "Here is $2. So we learned loony, toonie, regular, double double. All Canadian words that you could use at a Tim Hortons.
Sometimes she talked a little differently.
Ted, this hydro bill is bigger than Louis Sir's bicep.
Hydro bill. Robin was talking about hydro bill. What is hydro? You might remember from your high school lessons, of course if you loved physics back then, that hydro meant water. It's very confusing because in Canada, hydro bill is not the water bill. It's shocking, isn't it? Hydro in Canada refers to electricity. So if somebody says my hydro bill is very high this month, it means their electricity bill is very high. So maybe it is because in Canada, most of electricity is generated using water. But whatever the reason is, a lot of people find it very confusing. You don't expect hydro to mean electricity, but it is the case. Now think about the last time that you paid your hydro bill. Was that very expensive? If yes, you need to cut down on your electricity consumption. Cut down means decrease. Now think about it. Next time you hear the word hydro, don't be confused. It all depends on whether you are here in Canada or not. All right, A. I think this is the most Canadian word ever. What does it mean when a Canadian puts A at the end of a sentence? Let me explain it to you. Typically, you would use tag question to form a question to see if other people agree with you or not. That's not what we do here in Canada. Let me show you how Canadians ask others to explain what they think. For example, I say, "It is very hot in here, isn't it?" Isn't it is not really a question. I just want you to agree with me. In Canada, however, we don't say, "It's very hot here, isn't it?" Instead of "isn't it," we say "A." But you gotta do it very naturally.
My name is Hadia, eh? I'm Canadian, eh? How's it going, eh?
Here in Canada, we say, "It's very hot in here, eh?" If something is very expensive, we say, "Oh, this place is expensive, eh?" Or if you're at a party and you're having a lot of fun, you say, "This is a great party, eh?" This "eh" simply means, do you agree? If you're having coffee and your coffee is very strong, what do you say? Right, you say, "This coffee is really strong, eh?" Remember that this "a" has to be connected. One more example. If you're stuck in traffic and it's really bad, you say, "The traffic in this city can be crazy, eh?" Now you say it naturally. "The traffic in this city can be crazy, eh?" Now, I'm sure you're enjoying this program, eh?
Robin, coming up.
To hang out at a place means you spend some time in a place because you want to relax. Now, why do you hang out at a place? Maybe because you want to spend some time with your friends, to chat, to just have some leisure activities without any plans. Now, let's think about what you did after school. Do you remember when you were a child? You could say, "When I was a child, I would hang out at a park." Or, "I would hang out at a friend's." Hang out means you spend some time at a place. Why? To have fun. Now, if I have a lot of free time, I might say, "Let's hang out at a coffee shop this afternoon and catch up." Catch up also means to just talk, to see what's going on in your life. If you want to spend some time at the beach with your friend, instead of saying, "Let's go to the beach," you could say, "Hey guys, let's hang out at the beach." So hang out means to spend time at a place. Now, if you go to restaurants a lot, you could say, "I hang out at restaurants most of the weekends."
Make fun of the Great White North all you want.
Robin was talking about the Great White North. The Great White North? What does that mean? Yes, you were right. Today is all about Canada, so the Great White North actually means Canada. Maybe it is because it snows a lot in here, and we're located in the Northern Hemisphere. That's why they say the Great White North. It is very common for Canadians to say, I am from up north. A lot of Canadians moving to the United States of America, when people ask them, hey, where are you from? They say, I'm from up north. I'm from up north means I am from Canada. I mean, different countries may use different words. Like a lot of Americans don't say I am American, they say I'm from the States. In Canada, we say I'm from up north only when we are in the States, not in other countries. Because if I am in Europe, for example, in England, it doesn't really make any sense if I say I'm from up north. But in America, it makes sense because the United States of America is located on the southern border of Canada. To chant means to shout, but you don't just shout. You say something that is important for you. Think about a lot of people, maybe 1,000 people, walking down the street and they chant. For example, they might say, women, life, freedom, women, life, freedom. This is chanting. You can chant a slogan. Women, life, freedom would be slogan. Chant slogan means you shout out loud a very important idea. Now, have you ever been to a stadium to watch a soccer match? Did you notice that the fans means the people who are there, sometimes chant some team song? Every team has a song, and the fans chant the song for their players. So chant means da, da, or it could mean to sing like a song.
And now, apparently, I might end up getting deported.
To get deported. Nobody likes to get deported. If someone gets deported, it means they are sent back to their home country. If you're planning to travel to another country, sometimes you need a visa. But if you overstay your visa, overstay means you stay longer than what you should. Now, if you overstay your visa, maybe you get arrested, and you might get deported to your home country. To get deported means to be sent back to one's own country. Now, if there are some immigrants in a country and they are undocumented, meaning they don't have any paperwork, that means they are in that country illegally. Illegally means it is against the law. What could happen to these immigrants? They might, yes, you're right, they might get deported.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. I think this is a very important phrase to learn. Welcome aboard. When a new team member is added to a team, or when a new employee is added to the workplace or some sort of group or organization, you might say to that person, welcome aboard. It means welcome to the team. I'm a teacher. If a new student is added to my class, I might say to the student, welcome aboard. A manager might say to a new employee, hello everybody, today I'm going to introduce to you our new colleague, Alex. Alex, welcome aboard. Now, welcome aboard is used in other places as well. You might have noticed the last time that you were flying that The flight attendant said, "Welcome aboard." It doesn't mean welcome on our team, but it means welcome aboard the plane. So it is used to say welcome aboard the plane or a train, but at the same time, it also means welcome to the team. It is very common for managers to say welcome aboard when they are welcoming a new team member.
We're gonna do some cramming.
To cram. Cram. Do you remember yourself when you were at high school and you had science exam the day after, and then you had to stay up all night to study, 100 pages? You were cramming. To cram means you study a lot of information in a very short period of time. This could be because you have an exam. But remember, when you cram, you study a lot of materials in a very hurried manner in the last minute because you want to learn a lot of information quickly. Maybe some people don't like cramming, but I remember that I used to cram all the time at high school. Now, think about the last time that you had to cram. Maybe for your last IELTS exam, you had to cram, which means you had to memorize a lot of information in a short period of time. Cramming can help you pass an exam, but it's not the most effective way to learn. We all agree. So maybe next time that you want to cram, you remember me. Think about studying weeks before the exam so you don't have to stay up all night and cram. This is one of the most popular sports in Canada. You can watch some parts of this sport behind me. Curling. Curling is a sport played on ice where two teams take turns sliding heavy stones toward a target. You could see the target behind me. It's a red circle. They try to get the stone as close to the middle of the target as possible. The other players use brooms to help the stone move and go where they want. It looks like a very fun sport to try. I remember trying curling when I was maybe 10 or 11 years old, and I fell down quite a few times. Next time you're visiting Canada, think about trying curling. You're going to love it, I promise.
I don't care, it's dumb.
Let's learn the word dumb first. D-U-M-B. B is silent. Silent means you do not pronounce it. You can't say dumb. It's just dumb. Dumb has different meanings. First, it means someone who's not able to speak. For some reason, some people can't speak at all, any languages, For example, you might hear someone say, "The child was born with a condition that left him dumb," meaning unable to speak, like other children. That's one meaning of dumb. But here in this movie, dumb meant stupid, foolish, something that doesn't make any sense. I could say, you know what? I made a dumb mistake. It means stupid mistake. You could also use dumb if you don't really like someone and you want to say they are some sort of crazy or idiot. You say, "That guy is so dumb." Dumb could also be used as an adjective. For example, you could say, "That is a dumb idea." You might have heard the word dumbass, which kind of means the same thing as dumb, stupid, but I would say if you call somebody dumb, you think they're this stupid. If you say they're being a dumbass, they are this stupid. So it's all about the degree.
And then sue the people who made it.
To sue means to complain. I'm sure you've heard the word complain, but sue and complain are completely different. If you go to a restaurant and the food doesn't taste good, you complain. You don't sue. Because sue would mean that you would take them to the court with a judge. If you have an accident, a very serious accident, would you complain or would you sue the other person? You're right, you would sue the other person because this is some serious matter. Now, you might hear someone say she went to the court to sue her boss for treating her unfairly when he fired her. So is it common for people to sue their employers? It could happen. If your employer is not nice to you, or if your employer doesn't pay you your salary means the money that you get from your work. It's like some sort of wage, W-A-G-E. If your employer doesn't pay you your salary, obviously you're going to sue them, meaning you will take them to the court for the judge to decide that you deserve that money.
Oh yeah, I am nailing this.
I am nailing this. This is a nail. A nail. Sometimes, if you have a picture, it is very beautiful. You nail it to the wall. But nail here in this sentence didn't mean this nail. In English, if I say, dude, you are nailing this, it means you are doing successfully. It means you are doing it excellently. It means you're doing well. Good job. It is exactly the same thing as well done. Good job. Now, if my student is presenting something to a class, at the end of the presentation, I could say, good job, well done. Or I could say, David, you nailed the presentation. Or your daughter draws something, comes and shows it to you, and you say, oh girl, you nailed it. If you nail something, like a project, like a presentation, it means you do well. Now, imagine that you go to a job interview. At the end of a job interview, your wife or your husband, your partner calls you and says, how did it go? How was the interview? You say, I nailed it, and I'm going to get that job. Therefore, if you nail something like an interview, a project, a game, anything that means a lot of work, it means you do it perfectly. Now, am I nailing it by teaching you all these words?
Hold your horses.
Hold your horses. It's very funny because it doesn't mean hold, it doesn't mean horse. Hold your horses just means wait. Wait a minute. I hear this expression, hold your horses, all the time when I go to grocery stores. You know, grocery stores are places where you buy things you need, like food. I see a lot of parents whose children are begging them to buy something. Mommy, mommy, can I get an ice cream? It's very common for the mother to say, hold your horses for a minute. It means just be patient, wait, slow down. Now think about it. Imagine that you have a child who's very excited about something. You might say, you are excited about the party. I understand, but hold your horses. We still need to buy the decorations and prepare the food. So instead of saying to someone, wait a minute, you could say, hold your horses. Remember that when you say hold your horses, it shows that you're a little bit frustrated. Frustrated means you're getting angry. So you don't use it at work. If your colleague or the other person that works with you comes to you and says, can you do it for me? Can you do it for me? It's rude to say, hold your horses. In that case, you still say, hold on a second. So hold your horses can be used in informal situations. Now, I might say to a friend, before you make a decision, hold your horses and think it through carefully. Don't rush into it. Hold your horses means be patient, slow down, think about it, and don't rush it.
And the childhood obesity it leads to.
Obesity. Obesity. Obesity is a condition where a person has too much body fat, which can be bad for their health. Now, why does obesity happen? It happens when a person eats too much unhealthy food. You know what I mean by unhealthy food, right? You eat a lot of McDonald's, you eat a lot of donuts, and you drink a lot of soda pop. This could lead to obesity. Obesity means being fat.
Dumbass, end of story.
She said, end of story. Does it really mean the end of a story? Not really. End of a story is used to show that you're angry and you don't want to talk about it anymore. For example, I remember when I was 18 years old, my dad wouldn't allow me to borrow his car. Why? Because I was a terrible driver. Now, imagine that I borrowed my dad's car without telling him. When I come back home, is he angry? Yes. Is he pissed? Yes. He might say to me, you know what? You borrowed my car without asking, and it came back with a dent. Dent means accident. You should have known better. You need to take responsibility for your actions. End of story. When my father says end of story, after all of the blaming, that means I do not want to talk about it anymore because I'm very angry at you. Let's think about another way of using the end of story. Imagine that you arrive late to work every day and your manager comes to you and says, I have had enough of your excuses. You are late every single day. You need to learn to be punctual. You need to respect your work. End of story. End of story means enough is enough. I don't want to talk about it because I am so angry at you.
You are belligerently sticking to your guns.
Stick to your guns. What is that? Gun, that is easy. Stick means something that goes together. Now, if you stick to your guns, no, it has nothing to do with a gun, I'm sorry. Stick to your guns means you do not change your decision. You do not change your mind. For example, you could say, my father is driving a 1999 Toyota Corolla. Everybody is telling him, this is an old car, it's a lemon. Lemon means a very slow car. You need to change it. But he sticks to his guns. It means he does not listen to other people and he only does what he thinks is right. I'm sure that you have heard the word stubborn. Stubborn means you do not change your mind. So, stubborn people usually stick to their guns. Sometimes, I think it's a good idea to stick to one's gun, especially when you know what you do is right. For example, you might be trying to learn how to play the guitar, and everybody tells you, oh, you suck at it. It means you're so bad at it. But you stick to your guns, you keep practicing, and you prove them wrong because you could learn how to do it. So, if you stick to your guns, it means you do not change your mind even though everybody tells you otherwise. So, now I'm telling you, if people told you that you can't learn English for any reasons, let's prove them wrong. You need to stick to your guns and keep watching this program.
And insulting me.
Insult. It's a verb. To insult means to say something that is mean. Mean means bad. Something that hurts people. Something that makes people feel upset, unhappy. Something that is disrespectful. I am from Canada. If you say, oh, you Canadians are stupid, you're insulting me. If you say, oh, you Canadians suck at soccer, soccer means football, you're insulting me. If you say, oh, Mohammed, you're so short, you're insulting me. So to insult means to say something unkind, offensive, rude, mean, not nice. Sometimes we say something and we don't want to, but we might insult someone. It is very important for people to respect each other and not insult others. Insult means to say something mean.